Get ready for a future that's literally out of this world. We're living in an era where science is pushing boundaries faster than ever before. We're talking Mars missions, intergalactic explorations, and technologies so cool they'll make you wonder how you lived without them. From AI superstars to robot sidekicks, to gadgets at our fingertips, the pace of innovation has us on the cusp of something truly amazing. You're probably thinking, the internet at our fingertips. Sounds like a no-brainer. But here's the thing, what if some of the most mind-blowing innovations from the past have been hiding in plain sight? Yep, you guessed it. I'm talking about ancient technologies that could give modern geniuses a run for their money. So, buckle up because we're about to blow the lid off a secret. Many cutting-edge devices of today are actually just rediscovered versions of our ancestors' creations. The world of science is always abuzz with new findings, theories being turned upside down, and the internet trying its best to keep up, but often falling short. While some folks are still hung up on the idea that ancient Egyptians needed extraterrestrial help to build those mind-boggling pyramids, we're here to ditch the myths and dive into the fascinating truth. It's time to swap sensational theories for real-life ingenuity and uncover the ingenious solutions our ancestors used to achieve the impossible, without any help from outer space. Let's ignite some curiosity, literally. You've probably heard of the legendary Greek fire, the ancient superpower tool that turned the tide of battles and left enemies shipwrecked. But what exactly was this mythical incendiary? Buckle up, because we're taking you back to 672 AD when the Eastern Roman Empire unleashed a game-changing technology, an early flamethrower that spat out a deadly, flammable mixture, setting foes ablaze. That's right, in the 7th century, humans had already figured out how to create these fire-breathing machines, proving our ancestors were truly trailblazers. Get ready to blow your mind. Ancient folks were total innovation rock stars. Greek fire made its epic debut during the Arab siege of Constantinople, and this jaw-dropping incendiary weapon gave the Greeks a monumental upper hand in battle. Its mind-boggling capabilities made it seem like it could defy physics, setting fire to water itself somewell, not literally, but it did burn floating on top of it. This astonishing feat was enough to leave historians and us alike scratching our heads. How did they manage such an incredible feat? The answer remains a closely guarded secret, even today. Just picture the scene. People witnessing Greek fire in action for the first time must have been completely blown away. It's no wonder the formula was treated like pure gold and hidden away as a state secret. The secrecy was so tight-lipped, it seems we'll never crack the code on what made this game-changing concoction tick. But here's the thing. Ancient armies were onto the power of fire long before Greek fire took center stage. They'd been using incendiary mixtures to turn the tide in battles for ages, proving that sometimes the simplest and most primal forces can hold the key to major military advantages. The Greeks' arsenal was in a league of its own. But the crown jewel was undoubtedly Greek fire. We're piecing together what it did thanks to eyewitnesses. But one thing's for sure, this stuff was seriously intimidating. It could keep burning right on top of water, and get this, even got a second wind when people tried to douse it with water. Yeah, talk about a wild card in battle. But don't think it was indestructible. According to the accounts, only a handful of substances could put out Greek fire, like sand or wine vinegar. Now imagine your ship is going up in flames. You'd be scrambling to find something to stop the inferno. But let's be real, how likely is it that a ship had enough sand to put out a fire that massive? And don't even get me started on those eyewitness accounts describing a deafening roar and thick smoke when Greek fire was unleashed. The Greeks must have made quite an entrance on the battlefield. So, what powered this show-stopping attack? It turns out they used some serious tech for their time. Copper pipes and siphons, both on ships and portable platforms. Scientists have been trying to crack the code of Greek fire ever since, and while we don't know for sure, many think it was a potent mix of naphtha, sulfur, tar, and quicklime. But wait, there's more to the Greek fire mystery. Some historians think it might have been made with oil, sulfur, nitrate, and a bunch of other sticky resins. Despite all these theories, the secret formula remains hidden, leaving scientists stumped. Meanwhile, let's jump to another ancient tech enigma, Damascus steel. This legendary material was known for its mind-blowing pattern. Think spots and stripes, like ripples on water. These super durable, ridiculously sharp blades originated in Western Asia before our time, and people are still trying to figure out the magic behind their creation. The legendary Damascus steel. They say its sword could slice through a rifle barrel like butter or cut hair that's just falling onto the blade. It sounds like something straight out of a fantasy movie, but there might be some truth behind it. Today, we know that this ancient material was packed with serious strength thanks to a super carbon-rich mix with other elements like sulfur, silicon, and arsenic, not your typical kitchen ingredients. What's more, modern research has found tiny nanowires and carbon tubes in the alloy, giving it an almost magical edge. So why can't we recreate this sword-making magic? It seems the secret recipe is still hiding in the sands of time, leaving us to wonder what else was special about Damascus steel that made it truly unbeatable. The golden age of Damascus steel swords came and went. Its production plummeted in the 18th century, and by 1750, it was gone for good. But it didn't completely disappear. Some gunsmiths kept the flame alive by applying this ancient technique to create innovative firearms. However, as we entered the 20th century, attempts to revive this art form started to dwindle. So why did this incredible craft fade away? Some historians point to a change in global trade routes that disrupted access to essential metals. Others argue it was the rise of firearms, making swords less relevant on the battlefield. It's likely a combination of both factors, but one thing's for sure, the mystery of Damascus steel still captivates us today. But here's the twist. The secrets behind crafting these legendary swords were guarded so closely that they've been lost in time. The mysterious process and exclusive knowledge kept by ancient blacksmiths have left us piecing together clues from history. But even today, we can still get a taste of this extraordinary steel through chivalric novels, where tales of valor and honor are often forged with Damascus steel. And did you know that Game of Thrones' Valyrian steel was actually inspired by the real deal? A nod to Damascus steel's legendary strength, with a dash of magical flair thrown in for good measure. Now let's shift gears from swords to some seriously impressive architecture that'll leave you awestruck. Our ancestors didn't just master warfare, they also built structures that continue to amaze us today. Sure, we all know about iconic wonders like the pyramids or Stonehenge, but I want to introduce you to a lesser-known gem, Sacsayhuaman. Try saying that 3 times fast. This ancient citadel in Peru is an engineering marvel, housing not only a military garrison, but also a sprawling temple complex. Get ready to be blown away. Sacsayhuaman sits majestically near Cusco, Peru at an incredible 3,500 meters above sea level. That's over 11,500 feet high, mind-boggling, right? The area has seen human activity since around 900 AD, but it wasn't until the Inca era in the 13th century that this site truly transformed into a monumental fortress. Now, here's where things get really intriguing. The massive stones used to construct this ancient stronghold remain one of history's greatest architectural enigmas. Let's dive into the incredible construction techniques used by the masterminds behind Sacsayhuaman's walls. They employed a method called dry masonry, where massive stones were carefully stacked on top of each other without any extra binding agents. A technique seen globally but never quite like this. What makes Sacsayhuaman truly exceptional is that these enormous stones, often weighing several tons, fit together so precisely, unlike those smaller walls found elsewhere, leaving us to wonder, how did they do it? So, how did these gargantuan stones make their way to Sacsayhuaman? It's believed that they were first rough cut in nearby quarries to give them an initial shape, before being transported to the site using nothing but ropes and an enormous amount of manual labor. We're talking hundreds of people. Once they arrived, the stones might have been fine-tuned further, but that's just speculation. What remains a total mystery is how these ancient engineers managed to fit their massive blocks together with such precision and perfection. It's still one of history's greatest unsolved puzzles. You won't believe what we're still missing from the ancient playbook. The know-how to recreate something they'd mastered over 500 years ago. Yep, you guessed it. Scientists haven't even tried to replicate their techniques to understand how they did it. But before we dive into that mind-blowing tech, let's talk about one of history's most legendary inventions that'll sound like science fiction today: flexible glass. It might not seem like a big deal now that modern technology has taken us so far, but trust me when I say this ancient innovation was seriously ahead of its time. Buckle up, folks. We're taking a trip back to ancient Rome during Emperor Tiberius's reign, which kicked off in 14 AD. Now, you might have heard about Isidore of Seville's wild tale involving this mysterious master glassmaker who wowed the emperor with an ultra-flexible bowl that just wouldn't shatter no matter how hard Tiberius tried to smash it. The genius behind the unique glass even showed off his skills by fixing a crack in front of the emperor, only to reveal later that he was the sole mastermind behind this revolutionary technique. But here's where things take a dark turn. Emperor Tiberius saw the potential threat flexible glass posed to the value of gold and silver, and made a chilling decision. He had the inventor put to death. The legend of the flexible glass has been passed down through history, told and retold by many authors, but its secrets have remained elusive or so it seemed. Some say the ancient flexible glass was actually made from a special wood resin treatment, but that's just one theory among many. Fast forward to today, guess what? Flexible glass does exist, it's not just a myth. But here's the twist. It's not an ancient recipe we're talking about, no way. The modern version of flexible glass has its roots in a pretty cool accident from 1903 when French scientist Edward Benedictus had a major spill. He knocked over a flask filled with nitrocellulose and watched as the glass cracked, but didn't break into tiny pieces. This serendipitous discovery paved the way for what we know today. Fast forward to 2012, and get this, we see an unbreakable, transparent superstar-born optical fiber material meets Gorilla Glass 2. This mind-blowing innovation is actually a super strong, chemically tempered glass that's got flexibility going for it too. But don't get too carried away, it's still not the ancient magic we're talking about. The mystery of those ancient flexible glass secrets, still unsolved. If you're loving this journey through the wild world of materials science, be sure to give us a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for more edutainment like this. Now that we've got your attention, don't miss out on what's next. Click that little bell icon to turn on notifications.